actually, but sit down and have that conversation with her. And the interesting thing was, I said, okay, that sounds like a great idea. I'll do that. So I went to the baptism. About a week or two later, during her weekend with me, I sat her down and I tried to have the conversation. And I literally could not get the words out of my mouth. And in retrospect, of course, I didn't think this at the time. It was almost like God was shutting my mouth, and not allowing me to speak those words. And so I was really conflicted. And so I did a lot of introspection. Okay, what's going on here? Because on campus, I act as if this is like super important to really challenge people with people who have religious faith and make them give good answers and tell them that atheism provides better answers. And here, the person I love the most in all of the world, I can't do that with her. Obviously, I want her to know and believe and follow what's true, but I can't speak against her Christian faith. And in fact, when I really introspected and sat down and thought about it, I realized that I was experiencing some type of joy, some type of peace by her receiving Jesus as Savior. And so in psychology, we have a term, you've heard of it before, called cognitive dissonance. And cognitive dissonance means that you are acting and advocating a certain position, but on the other hand, there's something that you are starting to realize is true, and it's creating this very uncomfortable psychological state. So I believed atheism. I was defending atheism publicly, but I was starting to understand that there really was something to this Christian faith.
Wow. All right. So what else? So that's going on, and then what else was instrumental in your changes?
Yeah. So I would say that was very much a heart issue.
Yeah.
And the thing I've come to really love about God is he doesn't pick. He doesn't say, I'm just going to speak to people's heads. I'm just going to give them raw knowledge, sort of the cold, clinical, calculated knowledge. He does that. He provides evidences that he's real. We see historical evidences, for one example, of Jesus. But it's not just that. He doesn't stop there. He doesn't speak just to our heads. He speaks to our hearts. And so that turning point was a speaking to my heart. And so I went back to my head. I'm like, these two things have to work together somehow, right? I taught this all the time about the brain. It isn't like you have an emotional brain and that's separate from the rational brain. No, the two are working together constantly, okay? So I started thinking that I would say I challenged myself. And I would say I started thinking about, is atheism, does it add up? Does it really make sense? Because when we're talking about worldviews, our goal should be to acquire the worldview that makes the most sense with the fewest assumptions about reality. In other words, what is the most livable worldview?
That's good.
What is a worldview that corresponds to the truth as we understand it, but also can be lived out rationally and reasonably? And I don't have time, again, I give a talk on this all the time, but just one example of this is on atheistic naturalism. There is no possibility of humans actually making choices. There's no mechanism for that. And if you think about it, that has to be true. If everything is really explained in terms of the universe, the stuff of the universe, stardust essentially, obeying physical laws. Well, stardust is just stuff. Physical laws are fixed and cannot be changed. And atheistic naturalism says that has to explain all of reality. If those two things are true, then you and I, nobody, makes any choices. We don't make choices about what we want to eat, what we want to wear, who we want to marry, where we want to live. We don't make big choices about whether we believe in God or not. We don't make moral choices, whether to steal, not to steal, whether to lie, not to lie. All of it is just stardust playing out according to fixed physical laws. Well, I would say if that's true, which I don't think it is, obviously, but if that's true, nobody lives that out. It's impossible to live that worldview out rationally. And so I would say that's a huge problem for the atheistic understanding of reality. And so I started seeing all of these failures, these philosophical, that I was blind to before, but these holes in the atheistic worldview. And so I knew, hey, this worldview is not livable. This does not provide a good basis for me to navigate the rest of my life. I need something better.
That's good. All right, so then, to get more specific, you were challenged with the worldview, the truth claims of Christianity.
Yeah, by you. Primarily you.
And specifically Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Because Christianity stands or falls on Christ. Christianity. The historical person of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
His life, his death, and ultimately his resurrection. Because if he didn't rise from the dead, it's all a bunch of lies. So talk about that aspect of your change.
So right into this mix, of me realizing that there was something to this Christianity thing, that my heart rejoiced in my daughter receiving Jesus.
And I remember you telling me, it hit you that the worldview you were advocating and almost preaching, you didn't want your daughter to have.
I didn't want her to have,
because there was such an emptiness there.
Right.
So that was another little piece to that piece. Okay, now the.
So right into this mix, I would say in my own head, my own private life, I retreated from atheism. And I said, well, okay, I'm done with this atheism thing. I'm not going to be like a militant atheist anymore, because I think there has to be something higher. I don't know if the Christian answer is like the definitively right answer. Maybe it's one of many, correct answers or possibilities. But I know I'm not an atheist anymore. And the idea of there having to be some type of higher power, some type of God, some type of creator that's not detached, that really chose to create us, that has to be true. So however, whatever choices I make from here.
So even if you believe Big Bang, something caused the bang.
Something caused it, right?
Something big caused the bang.
Yeah.
But he makes, at this point, whether he's personal God or not, but at least something big caused the bang.
Yeah. And to me, it seemed very rational that if there was a creator that made the decision to create, then that would suggest some type of personal creator, whatever that means.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, well, I can accept that much, and I guess it's just a question mark from there. I want to know more, but I don't really know how to find those answers. And it crossed my mind at the time, well, what about the Christian faith that you grew up with? And my brain just kind of immediately rejected that in a way. It's like, well, no, I'm not, that's great for my daughter. This was sort of a pride thing, but I thought in my heart, like, well, I'm too smart for that. Here I am, a university scientist, and so maybe there are elements of that are true, but I'm not going to go back and just accept like all of the Bible, everything it says in there. I thought so at the time.
Sure.
And so I was just in this stance of not really knowing, not committing. But, I was still functioning as the advisor to the Atheist Club for the remnant of that school year. So I was walking to lunch one day at the University of Georgia, and I left the psychology building. I was walking across the Tate Plaza to go into the Bulldog Cafe, and I see this banner set up. It says The Great Exchange, and I thought, well, maybe this is a book buyback. That's what I thought it was. At the end of the semester, I knew it was common for the bookstore to have people out buying books back. It seemed to make sense to me.
Exchange a book.
Yeah, and so I have a young man walk up to me and ask me if I want to do a survey.